So Benson, what do you think is the biggest challenge in facing Clay Guida?
The biggest challenge facing Clay Guida is just instilling my game plan, not letting him dictate the pace, dictate how intense the fight is. I'm going to dictate where it goes, where it takes place, how fast it is, how slow it is. If it's on the ground or standing up, it's me being the one dictating it.
And certainly known his last fight against Pettis, his wrestling has really come to the forefront. So that's something obviously you know.
Yeah, watching all his tape, all his fights, he's known as a very aggressive wrestler, taking a lot of guys down. That's something he's been known for quite a while. So definitely something you got to pay attention to, for sure.
Clay was talking about focusing on stamina. He's known as one of the highest pressuring fighters in the game. Him saying that, how are you feeling about the stamina and the pressure?
Stamina is something that I've always used to my advantage ever since I was in junior high school wrestling. It's something I've always relied on. I'm going to rely on in this fight as well, same as I've always have.
Two high level pedigree wrestlers, or can we expect banging competition or wrestling?
I think actually, to be honest, we're both really good wrestlers and all that stuff. But I think we're pretty advanced as well as far as MMA fighters. Like we don't have to rely just on wrestling. Like some guys when they get to the UFC, they're known as just wrestlers. I think Clay and I are both pretty well rounded. So I think you expect an actual mixed martial arts affair. You can actually expect us to do some jiu-jitsu on the ground, do some wrestling, do some boxing, throwing some kicks. You can see all of it.
You talk about dictating the pace of the fight, but he's like one of the most intense, one of the fastest guys that goes around the octagon for 3 rounds. What does somebody in your position do to kind of control that?
I guess we're going to have to wait and see, huh? Saturday night. We're going to see that.
Are you part jumpy? You are one of the most rubbery, elusive guys. How is it that, I mean, seriously, this is a serious question, but how do you find you're able to be so elusive in submission?
A big part of that is thanks to my coach, John Crouch, just knowing the right technique on what to do. It's a big difference if you're stuck in a triangle and this side of your shoulder is cutting off this side of your carotid artery, and his arm or leg or whatever is cutting on this side. So if you can just angle just a quarter inch, just this much difference, and then that's the difference between being put to sleep in 3 seconds or being able to stay there for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, how long the guy wants to squeeze. So it's more about knowing the right technique to get out of the moves, but also it helps that my tapping point for most people might be here. For me, it might be here because I am so flexible. So it's a 2-part answer.
How did it make you feel being on the first UFC for Fox and then realizing that they're not going to be airing it, they'll be streaming it?
I won't lie, I was a little bit sad. I was a little bit disappointed when I first heard that. Kind of bummed out, but it's still awesome. Still a complete treat for myself to be a part of such a big event. To have all you guys here with cameras in front of my face and microphones. It's a thrill to me. I never in my wildest dreams imagined I'd be doing this sort of stuff. So it's fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm honored to be a part of the UFC's first Fox show.
And being a Christian and your platform, do you feel that inspires other Christians out there? I know that's a big part of your life.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. It's not about giving the best testimony and talking about it and being super vocal and loud about it, but more about how you live your life daily, in and out. And it is a struggle. It is hard. It's a daily struggle. You have to choose. You have to make those hard choices every day to be a Christian and to live that life. It's something we all fail at. That's what people don't understand. Every Christian, you're going to fail at. You're supposed to, but it's about how you come back and the next day and make that right decision. So I hope I can be somewhat of a inspiration to other Christians out there.
How do you feel about this fight in terms of it being a title eliminator, your chances for moving back up for a title shot, and how do you basically see the language?
I see every fight as kind of a title eliminator fight, because whether it's your first fight in the UFC, whether it's your 17th defense holding the belt, whether it's your actual title eliminator fight, whatever it is, if you lose, you go back to the bottom. You gotta start building again. If you win, then you keep climbing the ladder. So for me, it's all a matter of just keep climbing the ladder, keep doing what I'm doing, trying to be successful and look good while doing it, get my hand raised.
Now you were a champ in the WEC. How important is it to get another title this time? Of course, it would be in the UFC.
It's very important. Very, very important. It's something we all strive for.
Come Saturday, you win Saturday night's fight. Fighters make fights. Clay beat Pettis, and you lost a very entertaining fight to Pettis. What's more important for you, get Frankie Edgar for the title or get that rematch with Pettis?
I love Pettis. They got nothing bad to say about him. He's a cool dude. I will see him again in the octagon before he retires, before I retire. I will see him in the octagon again. But I think it's gonna be a matter of him, getting back up to the title shot, because I fully intend on beating Clay up, getting that title shot, beating Frankie up, and then eventually, hopefully, I get a chance to see him again for the UFC belt.
How do you feel about being on the receiving end of the famous showtime kick? It's gone down in history and will forever be there.
Something that I've learned to live with, because I have no choice.
What did you think when you watched the tape of that?
I didn't really think much of it. It's actually a pretty impressive kick. It's very cool. The biggest thing is that it was the 5th round, like the 4th minute, 30 seconds into the 5th round. Tired, exhausted, can barely stand up, just tired. And for him to go all out, like I say, go big or go home. He went big.
Did it hurt you? You fell down. I'm not sure if it was from being hurt from the kick, or was it more of a surprise from being hit by that kick?
No, I was dazed. It was like a foot across the face. It was, I was dazed, but I was managed to scramble back, grab a hold, hit a single leg, and almost finish the single.
I think you worked out with the toothpick in your mouth. Did you?
Oh,
what's that about?
It's just a bad habit of mine. I work out with toothpick in my mouth. I shouldn't really. It's a bad habit. Kids at home, don't do that.
And I'm imagining your opponents when you're working with them. You should put an eye out with that.
Exactly. It's not good. Dangerous. I shouldn't do it. Very dangerous. Very silly.
You make weight. It's been once these where you had to run a little bit to make the weight. How's the weight now for tomorrow's weigh?
Could always do better. Unless you're a heavyweight like Kane, walking around about 240, 250, you're 15, 20 pounds underweight. It could always be better, but then again, if I was right on weight right now, I would be getting back up, so I have to cut again. It's just, the wrestler nature in me, but a little bit heavy, but it could always be better.
Are you the type that makes predictions, and if so, what do you think about Kane and JDS?
I don't really make a whole lot of predictions. If I am, 80% chance the other guy's gonna win, whoever I pick. I'm pretty horrible at making predictions. I am predicting though a knockout. I think those two boys are some hard-hitting, fast, ferocious, just tough guys, and someone's gonna be a knockout, I think.
What about the Ben Henderson Clay Guida fight?
I think I will be getting my hand raised.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.